All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Sunday. How's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. We're hanging out on a Sunday. Doge is in the teens. Not ideal. Like I said the other day, ouch, into the teens. And we got down to close to like 18.5 cents or so. Now back over 19. Is this the start of a recovery? Or are we going to look at more up and down action? So that's where we have today. And what is causing this and what's going on? You guys have heard me talk about this many times, but I got to cover it again because I still get the questions. And so we're going to talk about it again, try and sum it all up. There's another person's view of it all. So, hey, don't just take my word for it, right? Don't just take my word for it, because someone else is saying pretty much the same thing that I've been talking about for the last 6 months on liquidations and how that is more a key for price action for crypto than even the news. I mean, yeah, the tariffs certainly hurt. That was a big thing, right? But the day-to-day thing that's going on, right? Because the big tariff thing is just still kind of hanging over everything, which is really keeping crypto from really taking off, I think. But on a day-to-day basis, it's a leverage because there's a lot of degen traders who think the market is still going to go up. Like me, I think the market's going to go up too. But they're betting it and they're gambling it with leverage. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about Doge as well, what's going on with Doge, any follow-ups from the Bitcoin conference from last week, because that was certainly a good time, educational, learned a lot, met some great people, all of that. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not even going to mess around with that. I don't have time for that. Adam, already. I don't have time for that. Just right from the start. It's like, nope. Just the boot. He gets the boot. He'll come back under another name, start talking the same crap, and I'll just boot him again. I don't have time. It's a Sunday. Come on. Just relax. You know, the one thing about the trolls is if the trolls spent as much time like trying to build something, create something, and make money, as opposed to coming into people's live streams and just trolling, they'd be rich. Right? Take your time and make something out of it. Just the trolling is just ridiculous. So, anyway, but some people just have pea-brain heads, so that's what they're going to do. Fine, whatever. I'll just boot him again. D Community just bought some Doge at 19 cents. And here we go, 19 cents. So let me get to my my thing here. First of all, there was a crypto liquidation spike. This was Decrypt right the other day. Crypto liquidation spike above $800 million as Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Ethereum fall. And most people are like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's what caused. But you got to dig into it. You got to dig into what does this actually mean, liquidations? Because I do get a lot of questions about liquidations and what they are and how that works. Now, this is leverage trading. Kriss does not leverage trade. Way too risky. These are degen gamblers who are And many of them very wealthy as well, because just buying on spot and holding is too boring for them. It's too boring, right? So they short, they long leverage trade, 2x, 5x, 10x, 40x. We'll get into all that. That is what, in the end, moves the market, except for big news event, which can cause the market to go up or down, whether it's for a particular crypto or the whole thing, particularly if it pertains to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does move the whole market because it's 64% dominance. We can get into that as well. If you have any questions on that, we can get into that. But this is the big thing, is liquidations. Why is the market still going on these successive drops? And it is just that, liquidations. We look at the heat maps. We'll look at the heat maps again. But here's what it is. And there was this great post here by Stellar Rippler, an XRP fan, whatever, but a good post. And we talked at the end of last week about this guy, James Wynn. And here is James Wynn's account. And he calls himself a high risk leverage trader. High risk leverage trader, because he gets bored. Just he can't just like buy Bitcoin and hold it, right? So he's a high risk leverage trader. And we looked at some of his commentary on Friday of all the stuff that he was saying about leverage trading and all of that. Don't need to go into that. But this is what exposed the biggest scam of all. And James Wynn getting liquidated for $100 million is not what exposed the biggest scam of all. Because I've been saying it for years, and particularly more, the last 5 months or so. Because no, liquidation is not people selling their positions. See, there we go. All right, so this is good. Because you have to understand what a liquidation is. And we look at liquidations on coinglass.com. And these are, over the past 24 hours, $45 million of trades have been liquidated on ETH, 24 million on Bitcoin, 5 million on Doge, 5 million on Doge. These are trades that can be made. It's called futures or open interest, or, exchanges come up with different names for them that sound nicer than they actually are. It's basically gambling. What you do is, let's say you want to do a long leverage trade on Dogecoin because you think we've had enough pain, we've hit the bottom, Doge is going to go up from here, I'm going to do a leverage trade. Now, you can do leverage trade on a number of different exchanges. Let's say Bybit or Binance or OKX or Gate, HTX, CoinX, BitMEX, Bitfinex, right? Those are the biggest exchanges for leverage trading. Okay, I've never leverage trade, so I may get part of this wrong, but here's what I understand is, let's say you've got $10,000 and you put in a trade for Dogecoin to go up, right? And you're going to do a long leverage trade. In other words, you're going to essentially, you're betting on the price to go up. So let's say you do a 10x trade. Do you want to say, yeah, 10x trade, right? You've got $10,000 and you're going to do a 10x trade. That trade is essentially worth $100,000 because you've got 10x. You're basically borrowing from the exchange to increase your position 10 times. Okay, so that means any gains that are made from your initial allotment is going to be at a 10x. Okay, right? So if the price goes up 10 cents, which would be an awesome move, right? You're not going to just get that gain, let's say from 20 cents to 30 cents. No, you're going to get that gain at a multiple of 10. Okay, now when you place that trade, you also identify based on your leverage, how much you're leveraging determines based on the current price where the liquidation price is. So if it's at 20 cents, you may have a liquidation price of, let's say, 19 cents if you do a 10x leverage. In other words, if the Dogecoin price goes down to 19 cents, your entire trade gets liquidated. And the $10,000 worth of Doge that you put up for that $100,000 trade, you lose. 10,000 gone. That's the risk. However, the reward is if the Doge price goes up, then you're not only getting, that gain of price from your initial $10,000 investment, but you're getting it at a multiple of 10. That's the reward. Okay, do you understand basically how it works? You can do it shorting as well. If you think prices are going to go down, you can open a leveraged short position, same kind of thing, but in reverse. So that at 20 cents, you're going to short Doge down. You'll have a liquidation on your short of like 20.5 or 21 cents, a little bit higher. And we look at these heat maps. Before I get to the story, you look at the heat maps, because we look at these too, and we can see, because this is all public information, right, from all these exchanges, they have to have this API stuff that CoinGlass then grabs this data and puts it on this chart. And you can see where the biggest liquidation levels are. For Bitcoin, there's a huge, at 105,409, there's about $35 million of shorts that'll get liquidated. And down here, you can see the longs that'll get liquidated. And we look at these a lot. This is what determines where the price is going to go. It's going to go down. It's going to go up. Who sets the liquidation price? The exchange. Before you place the bet, you see what it is. It depends on how much leverage you're using. The less leverage you have, the more of a spread you have. This is my understanding. The more of a spread you have. And they tell you then what that is based on how much leverage you're using. In other words, you can't do like a 40x leverage trade on Bitcoin at 105,000 and set a liquidation price of like 95K. No, it doesn't work that way. The exchange tells you if you're going to put 40x leverage at this price, this is what your liquidation price is going to be. And the more leverage you use, 10x, 20x, 40x, the smaller your spread is between the existing price and the liquidation price. Again, I've never done this because I don't want to lose my Doge, right? I don't want to lose my Doge. And here's what Stellar Rippler says. James Nguyen lost more than $100 million. Now, I don't know if that's actually his own 100 million or not. That's the first thing. And it was at a 40x leverage. So did he actually only put up like 40x? 40x would be what? 400,000? No, not even that. My maths are off. $250,000 at 40x would be what? I'm doing my math wrong here. 250,000 times 40. That'd be 10 million. So it'd be 2.5 million. Yeah. Yeah. So $2.5 million at 40x gives you 100 million. So he had to have $2.5 million into that Bitcoin trade to lose 100 million, but he didn't actually put in 100 million. He put in 2.5 million. It's still $2.5 million though. That's my understanding of what that meant. However, this guy says he may have uncovered the biggest scam in crypto. And you guys have been hearing me talk about this more and more over the last 5-6 months. So he's not uncovering anything, right? This isn't new, right? This didn't just happen or just found out. I've been talking about this for a long time, which is why I don't leverage trade. Here's how exchanges are rigging the entire system against you. Now, all of us here not doing leverage trading, we're not the ones where the system is rigged against us. We're the ones who suffer the fallout, right? We suffer the fallout from what the big whales that are using leverage are doing. And here's how that happens. James Wynn went long on Bitcoin with size and multiple trades and got liquidated within a short span of time. 100 million wiped out. He tweeted out this thing called money's not real. And I don't believe that. I mean, money's real. Money is real. Here's how it works. Crypto exchanges see everything. They see your open positions. They see your liquidation price. They see the leverage. They see any stop losses. If you set stop losses, they see that. In other words, none of your trade is hidden, and the exchange knows exactly what you're betting with leverage, what your risk is. They see it all. It's like the dealer on a blackjack table, right? Right? You don't see the dealer's cards, but the dealer sees yours, right? Many top exchanges run internal market-making desks, and you've heard me talk about the market makers, right? Just the other day, someone asked me, what's a market maker? And I said, well, go ask Grok, but here's, to get more detail, but the big news, right? The big idea about market makers are to keep trading within a certain bound, right? So you don't get all of a sudden somebody buying a Bitcoin for 50K because someone did a stupid market order when someone had a limit order sell, and like it totally goes out of a range. So you'll never see that. You'll never see this random 50K Bitcoin buy or 150K Bitcoin sell. And that's because of market makers. Market makers keep the trading within a range. And this comes over from stocks. The desks, they're called, the market making desks, the DEX. The desks act as the other side of your trade. If you lose, they win. Sometimes the market makers are within an exchange. Sometimes exchanges hire third-party companies to be their market makers for all the different cryptos on their exchange. Okay, it's not just Bitcoin, right? It's Bitcoin, it's ETH, it's Doge, right? It's all of them. So they are making the market to have enough liquidity in the market for trading to happen for all the cryptos that the exchange has. But when leverage is involved, they see that too. The exchanges don't want you to win. I've said this month after month after month. The exchanges don't want you to win. And since January, there has been so much liquidation, so much money liquidated from traders thinking that the market was going to turn around. But instead, what happened? The market kept going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. People go, oh, Doge sucks. Doge was 40 cents and now it's 20 cents. Hey, it wasn't you and I selling our Doge. Nope. It's the degen gamblers going all in on Doge, and then they get liquidated by prices going lower and lower and lower. And after a while, it starts weighing on people, right? And everyone starts complaining, Doge sucks. That's how it works. Now imagine these market makers They have access to your liquidation levels, and they control enough liquidity to move the market. Scary? That's reality. What does that mean? They have enough liquidity. What does that mean? I just saw this on X. Top holders of Bitcoin. Right? Top holders of Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto, right? 1.1 million Bitcoin. Right? Top holders. Satoshi. Look who's number 2, Coinbase. Look who's number 3, Binance. Why do the exchanges have so many Bitcoin? Why do they have so many ETH? Why do they have so many Doge? That is the liquidity. That liquidity allows them to, dare I say, manipulate the market when it serves their interest. Why would you do that? You would do that in order to liquidate shorts or longs. How do you do that? You dump a lot of those coins on the market to drop the price, or you buy up more coins in order to bring the price up higher. To liquidate the longs on the downside, to liquidate the shorts on the upside. It happens. This guy continues. Ever notice sudden sharp wicks that trigger mass liquidations and then bounce back instantly? What we call the wicks on these candles, the big wicks that come up or the big wicks that go down. Those are the wicks. Why do you think that happens? Triggering liquidations. They're not random, they're engineered. Most exchanges themselves hunt liquidation zones to profit millions at a time. And that's what I've been saying. You guys have heard me say they're hunting those leveraged trades. This is what moves the market more than anything else. Yeah, a big news event is going to trigger, right, some selling. The market makers pounce on that opportunity to even sell some more in order to get the price to move down lower if there's a lot of heavy liquidations that can be made. So the exchanges call it a profit center. They would not offer you the opportunity to trade with leverage if they don't win more than they lose. It's like a casino, right? In a casino, the house always has the advantage. Always. On every game that's in there, the house always has the advantage. You want to play roulette? You can go black or red, right? You think it's 50-50 black or red? No, because there's 2 greens. There's a 0 and a double 0, right? That's what tips the edge in the house's favor. Craps, all those rules about craps, house always has the edge. Blackjack, well, guess who goes first in blackjack? You go first, not the house, right? So you get wrecked, right? If you go over 21, right? And then the house has certain rules of when they need to hit and when they draw to their advantage. And they win. And they win. Exchanges, same thing. They would not offer the ability to leverage trade if they weren't making money off it. You think you're cute? You think you could buy Doge at 19 cents on a 10x leverage? Have a liquidation price of $18.75? They're going to hunt you down. They're going to find that $18.75 and they're going to liquidate you. And then you're out of your Doge. That's the way it works. Wins $100 million loss, more volume, more fees, more spread, more win. Because what else happens, right? the market makers also, when they're dumping coins to drop the price, a lot of traders also start selling. They're making money on fees, right? Higher volume of trading happens. Exchanges make money on more volume too. If the market is just flat and there's no trading, right? It's boring and it's just going straight sideways, the exchanges aren't making money. They want up and down. They want the movement of the price up and down so they can make money because they make money on the fees. This is the game that you've invested into. It's like a casino. And you complain about Doge being, it's not Doge. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin. It has nothing to do with it. Why do some go up more than others? Why do some go down more than others? Over time, there's good projects and bad projects. The good generally outweigh the bad. Over short periods of time, you may have some coin outperforming another based on that amount of time, based on selling, typically leverage trading. There's a lot more Doge leverage traded than like Pepe or Bonk or Sheeb, right? And so Doge will go down more sometimes than those others because of particular leverage trades. That's how it works. So why isn't this regulated? Well, there's the CME in the United States, right? In the United States, we've got the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They don't trade against their users. There are regulations. There are laws against that. They separate the custody from the execution. If there's any insider trading or dealing, that's punishable, and you can go to jail for that. Same thing on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ for stocks. You can't inside trade. Now, does it happen? Yeah, it kind of does in certain places and certain people who know information and stuff like that. But the actual trading itself, like front running big trades or anything like that, there's rules and regulations against that. But the crypto exchanges, nope, that's the Wild West that we're in. No separation, no accountability. Why do you think CZ, the Binance CEO, pled guilty to federal charges in a $4 billion resolution? CZ ended up just pleading guilty, taking the hit, because he didn't want Binance to go through all of that uncovering of all of the data for all of the liquidation trading, all the leverage trading that's being done on Binance. Because Binance is making a crap ton of money off the leverage trades. CZ took one for the team, went to jail for I don't know how many months. I don't remember how many months he was in jail, but that's what that was about. But they all do it. They all do it. And I believe the market makers actually know the other market makers on the other exchanges, and they engineer it. They do coordinated attacks on the price, up or down, depending on where the big leverage trade is. And this guy, when he was targeted, prices are manipulated, data is weaponized, your trades are food, and nobody's stopping it. Now, if you're too dumb to realize all of this and you go into a leverage trade, right? You got to do your research. You got to know what's going on. The house is against you. They don't want you to win. If you think you're smarter than the house and you think, okay, we're now at the bottom on Doge and now Doge is going to go up and you're going to ride it up with leverage, that's a risk because you don't know when the next liquidation dump is going to happen. We've seen a number of them around different news events. Remember Liberation Day, the US, like the tariff thing, right? perfect opportunity for the market makers to just dump the price and wipe out hundreds of millions of dollars of leverage trades. That's how it works. So about Mr. James Wynn, Tom Crown says, I still think he was a plant and it was a marketing stunt. And I said, yep, he has a hyperliquid link as an affiliate on his profile. The blockchain shows the loss, but who knows what else is going on. He could be playing the game here in order to pump hyperliquid, and hyperliquid is paying him to do it. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Could be something else going on there. Danger and Value thinks that he was revenge trading with 40x leverage, and then he blames the market that he got liquidated. We all know prices are manipulated. 5, 10x leverage is easily manageable with proper risk management. This guy deserved to get wrecked. So that's the other view of it, that he just made an overly risky trade and he got wrecked. So that's what all's going on. What do we do about it? Doge is at 19 cents, guys. Where do you think Doge is going to be this fall? Personally, I don't think Dogecoin is going to be anywhere around 19 cents this fall. I think it's going to be much higher. Am I leverage trading for that? Nope. Am I buying on the dips when I have available cash? Yes, I am. That's the game I'm playing. It's the safe play if you're buying in crypto. And not only 43 cents, Orbison, but how much is going to be in October 2026 or October 2028 or October 2029? If you play the long game, you get more Doge in the teens than if you're buying in the 20s and 30s. And you just hold it. And the ups and downs, like Ryan said, right? The ups and downs, you just eat popcorn, right? Isn't that right? What you're doing, Ryan? You're just eating the popcorn. You're just watching the show because you don't, this doesn't bother you. This is part of the game, up and down, up and down. Yeah, when you do your daily buys or weekly buys or whatever, you hope to get the lowest price possible. But even if you don't, what's the long-term view? More people, and I said this on Friday, more people have made money in crypto by buying and forgetting about it for at least 4 years, if not 8 years. Those people who bought Dogecoin like 5 years ago and held it, they're the ones who got rich. Yeah, just eat your popcorn during the ride. Yep, sunshine. That's it. You don't worry about this stuff. It's all noise. It's all noise. The leverage traders versus the exchanges and market makers. And you don't sweat it. If you believe in Dogecoin. Now, if you think Dogecoin is just a meme, nobody's going to do anything with it. Dogecoin is never going to be used as anything. And it's all just been hype and a big joke. Maybe Dogecoin doesn't recover. Personally, all the stories I've been telling, not only Elon, because I still think there's something out there for Elon. It's not just a joke to him. I don't think he would betray all of his employees at SpaceX and Tesla, who are working the lines that tell him, can you support Dogecoin? And he says he does. He wouldn't be lying to them. But all the stuff coming new, not only the House of Doge, but Doge OS, all these other things I've been talking about, that is all giving Dogecoin utility. That is all building Doge for the future. I know, Chaos Boy, we've talked about your stop loss thing. Yes, right. Smart trading, you set your stop losses. However, the bigger money is made not by doing leverage trading and trying to limit risk with stop losses, but just buying and holding for years. That's where the money is made. And that's what I'm buying for now. I'm not looking to sell in October or November. I made profit this bull season, this bull market. That was my plan. Achieved that. Now everything else is going for the future. I did do a little swing trade on the side the other week, just because it was all set up for that. I got some extra Doge out of that trade, but that was just a small part of my overall portfolio. And again, it was all set up on the screen. Did I hit the top when I sold, and did I buy at the bottom? Not exactly, but I did increase my Doge bag by doing that swing trade. And Doge is now lower at 19.25, right, than where I bought. That's okay. I picked up some extra Doge by doing that swing trade. Always a risk, though, on that. Not as risky as leverage trading, but still somewhat risky. Yeah. Trump media is going to purchase Bitcoin. Have not heard anything about Jerome Powell resigning, Sean. First I've heard of it, and I was all over X today, and I didn't hear that. So, are you just making that up? I now have about 450,000 Doge. That's how many Doge I have. Again, I was up around 3 million, almost 3 million at the top back in November. Holding since 2021. January 28th, the date you'll never forget. You got it, Metal? Market manipulation? That's what it is. Buy it, forget it, love it, set it, forget it. Patience, yes, Doug, patience as well. What's up, Blake? Leverage ain't going to do it. Just holding on to my 6-cent Doge. FAFO. Yes, Doug. FAFO. Crypto is a global slot machine. Yep, it is. And there are people all over the world who have made a lot of money in crypto. There are some who have lost a lot of money too, if you're doing dumb things. But mostly it's time. It's just buying in good projects and holding is the best chance for success in crypto. That's it. That's it. It's not chasing the latest meme token, because the risk to reward ratio is way too high, because you don't know which is the one that's going to become the next Pepe or fart coin. You have no idea. So that's gambling. It's good projects, and you hold for a long time. That's how you make money in crypto. And you don't sweat the small stuff. You eat popcorn. You eat popcorn. Good afternoon, Danny. How are you? Some think 16-cent Doge are incoming. I think it's hilarious, right? Someone on one of my there's a comment on one of my videos, like 12-cent Doge. And then someone else says, wow, if it's dropped to 11, boy, I'm really going to be buying a bunch of Doge then. But what if it doesn't go down there? When Doge was at the 30s, people were saying, I can't wait till Doge drops into the 20s and to buy more. It drops into the 20s. Oh, I'm not buying. I'm going to wait till it drops into the teens. Well, guess what? Now we're in the teens, and you're still not buying? And you're still not buying. Oh, 19, no, 6. I'll wait 16. I'll wait till 12. Doesn't go down forever. Orbison thinks 25 cents by the end of June. Waiting till 2030 to evaluate while accumulating over the next few years. Sean, that's how you make money. Give it 5 years. Some just want Doge so they can trade it for goods and services. Waiting for that market to open. Exactly. For Doge. That's what House of Doge is all about, is that. Watching from Vegas on top of the oh, you're up on the stratosphere. Awesome. I have not been up there in a long time. It was 2 times ago when I was in Vegas. So that would have been, what year would that have been? Last time I was in the stratosphere, early 2000s, probably over 20 years ago. The big picture is Dogecoin. Ryan always wanted to go on top of the strat. It was a long wait for Doge to get to a penny. Again, that whole 73-cent thing, I say, was totally overhyped. Doge never should have gone up to that price. It was totally out of the range. The 42-cent mark probably should have been the top for Doge, but the overhyping that happened with Elon and Saturday Night Live and all of that, that was crazy. We may not get back to that price this cycle. That's still, it might not happen. Oh, I'm going to play Doge didn't get back to the all-time high. So what? Eat some popcorn. Go touch grass. Relax. You think Bitcoin has topped out and on its way down? Really? I've said many, many times, this cycle is much closer to 2017 that had 2 runs separated by this long period. In that long period, from what I understand back then, and I wasn't trading then, I wasn't in crypto then, but there was a lot of the same sentiment then as there is now. Those that held paid off ransomly. The Count of Monte Crypto. Yeah, no one knows who the Count of Monte Crypto is, and it's a rumor. So no one's going to react to a rumor. My buddy's screaming at me to sell at 73 cents. Billy Marcus made a wallet bot. Interesting. Interesting. Arbam, I have a video for you to watch on my channel here after the stream. It's called my June price prediction for Dogecoin right there. June price prediction for Dogecoin. I made that yesterday. So after the live stream, go watch that video and you'll see what I say about June. Okay? Go watch that. Smash the likes, everybody. Subscribe. Appreciate the support always. So glad I didn't sell. I was a mess for a day. Long-term works. Nice to see your back, Forks. Yeah, you were a little worried there the other day. I know. Ah, our Permabull knock stars, 16 cents. That's okay. I can point to probably some remarks you made on previous live streams months ago where you were saying like 26 cents. And we were all saying, no, you can't go down to 26 cents. Yeah. So now we're down to 19 and you say 16. If it goes to 16, you'll probably say 12. Eventually, it's going to bottom out and go back up because I still think we're in an overall bull market. And this is just like 2017, where we're in this breather period, and there's going to be another run. That's what I see. I was early with my price prediction. Yeah, I made the video one day before the end or the beginning of the new month, right? That's what you mean by early. It might surprise me. Grok said we're just starting the bull market. Yeah, well, maybe he thinks this is a new one. He or she or it or whatever. The heat maps. Yeah, Danny, we looked at them earlier. Right there. There's a bunch of trades down here on Bitcoin below, but there's a bunch of shorts up here. So it could go either way. Either way. Hey, Jay. It's going well. Enjoying my Sunday afternoon. Market's not doing much. Not really doing much. A little up and down, but yeah, not really doing much. Bitcoin's at 105. I predicted it would go down on Friday. See that white line there? That was during Friday's live stream. We were right there, and I was like, yeah, it's probably going to go down. You know, it went down faster than I predicted. So we did actually have an even lower low on Bitcoin. I predicted that on Friday. It's just another one where Kriss was pretty damn right. It just happens. What's Bitcoin going to do from here? Is the market going to follow Bitcoin? Generally does. We look at the 4-hour chart here for Bitcoin. Down, up, down, lower, up, down, lower, up. Is it going to go down even lower? Are there a bunch of huge liquidations to happen down at 1025? Then it's probably going to go down to 1025. And Doge will probably drop down 18, 17 cents if that happens. It's not because Dogecoin is just going to drop on its own. It's because Bitcoin is going to drop further because the market makers are going to manipulate it lower to take out huge leverage trades at 1025. That's how it works. Meanwhile, the alts get hurt more when the price goes down, and so Bitcoin dominance goes back up. Now we're at 64.5% again, back up. We were at 63.5%, and people will start talking about altcoin season. That was on Thursday, and now look where we are on Sunday. Nope. Bitcoin dominance back up. The Doge chart doesn't look great. I agree. As I posted, though, the RSI is totally oversold, totally bottomed out here on Saturday. Doge's price fell to 18.5. Recovery is not yet confirmed on a low volume Sunday. That's what I said. But the RSI, Relative Strength Index, showing looks like a bottom. Looks like a bottom. So recovery is not confirmed yet and probably won't be with a lot of long leverage trading going on. Did I buy yet? I've been buying. I got no cash at the moment because I bought on Friday. Your buy for Circle on Robinhood, it's been queued up and wondering if it's the oversubscription that the purchase is not getting completed. You're buying Circle? That's a stock, right? The price hits your limit order, it'll hit, but stocks don't trade on the weekends, so you have to wait till Monday when the stock market opens. Started following with 1,000 Doge, now up to 3,500, a few dollars here and there. Christian, chilling for the fall. Could be. Doge 1 rocket. I would not wait for that. I think it's dead. And there's going to be no Doge 1. Again, this wasn't SpaceX's fault. This was that third party that was going to do all of this stuff with Doge 1 and ended up not following through. SpaceX was ready to go with its rocket. And this third party was the one that was funding it, paid all this Dogecoin to SpaceX. No product. So, yeah, Elon said that X Money is in beta testing. He said security is number one. So it's going to go through a long period of time. Now remember, X Money has partnered with Visa to help them out. So no crypto, no Dogecoin when it first launches. You guys already know that. So don't get upset if X Money starts up and there's no Dogecoin, because Kriss has been saying that for just about a year now, right? Probably more. When it was called X payments before, I was like, there's Dogecoin is not going to be on there on day one. So don't get upset, because I told you it's not going to be on there. You heard Elon is adopting a Shiba Inu dog? Well, he already did. Is he adopting another one? Because Floki was the name of his dog that he adopted 4 years ago, which of course then that's where the Floki crypto token came from, is because somebody created it after Elon named his Shiba Inu dog Floki. So somebody created a Floki token. I haven't heard he's adopting another sheep. There's tons of big things coming for Dogecoin, Jay. That's why I make videos like almost every day. Almost every day. The biggest thing is Doge OS. Doge OS. I had dinner with Alex, the MyDoge CTO, while in Las Vegas. They're building big things. Building big things. Hey, CDC, how are you? I did not watch the Grand Prix today. I'm not really an F1 race watcher. We just did the Indy 500 last week because it was Devlin, in the Doge car. I'm not going to watch any more Indy 500 races. I don't watch F1. I don't watch NASCAR. You're buying $20 a day, Chaos? Good. It's a good strategy. Do your co-workers watch your stream? No, they don't. I don't tell them what I do. No. We talk architecture when I'm at work, not crypto. Yeah, Sunshine, there's a thing called digital, I forget what it's called. Some states included it in the money transmitter license, like Rhode Island. Rhode Island has a dual thing. And I thought there was another state or two that also had a dual license for digital and fiat. But he would have to go through, or X would have to go through an application for all the states in order to be able to use whatever crypto is called, digital assets, digital commodity. I don't know what it's going to be called, but how was my trip home? It was a red-eye flight from Vegas to Boston. Left at 10 o'clock at night, Vegas time. Arrived at 6 in the morning, Boston time. I can't sleep on a plane. So I was a mess. I can't sleep on a plane. I tried. Couldn't do it. I used to watch NASCAR. Jeff Gordon was my guy. I was heavy into NASCAR from about 2010 to 2014, 2015 timeframe. Mostly because my kids were into it at that time. So big things coming, long term, not overnight. How did I get dinner with Alex? It was through Doge tipping. Doge tipping is the guy who's got the Doge wrapped Cybertruck. He reached out to me. He knew I was in Vegas, and he said that it'd be great to meet up and go out to dinner. And he was trying to get with Jordan and Alex. Jordan was busy, couldn't make it, but Alex could. So it was me and Alex and Doge tipping that went to dinner together. So that's how that worked. So it was nice to meet him. Talk about the MyDoge wallet and Doge OS a little bit. You know, it's all in beta testing now. The upgrade for the Doge wallet and Doge OS. It's just got a lot of things being built on it. I mean, Jordan has talked about a number of projects that are being built for Doge OS. He's been on a number of interviews. He's talked about that. Good stuff. It's good stuff for Doge. They had it was the Indy 500 D last Sunday, a week ago. That was the race with the Dogecoin car. It was the Indy 500. When are we getting back to the 30, 40 cent zone? Jay, I wish I knew. Nobody can answer that. Nobody knows. We need a lot of good things to happen, though. We need these heavy gamblers to cool it on the huge leverage trades. I mean, 40x leverage trade is just going to have a big target on it. The market makers are going to take it out. Sleeping on a plane, tough. Yeah, I was sleeping off and on like all day Friday. It took a while, and then Friday night, man, I slept like 10 hours solid Friday night. Just was so tired. It took that long to like get over that red-eye flight. I work public safety at a college. It's nearly impossible not to fall asleep. Francisco, you like the story about the house, everything that led up to the house? I tell kind of some versions of the same thing. The rest of my life, like as an architect and doing all that, most people in crypto aren't interested in that. You really have to know architecture and know architects and design and buildings to have any interest in that at all. Because that was my life before crypto, was all that. Well, until I had a family. And then it went from architecture to family to crypto. Kind of like that. What's going to happen tonight? Are we going to have another pullback? The Asian markets are going to, I mean, just how many times does it have to pull back, right? I mean, we certainly had it on Saturday. Doge was up to 19.5 cents and then dumped back into the 18s. So not expecting any great run right now. Bitcoin probably won't hold 105. We're getting back into the 104s. And then is there going to be some targeting of some huge leverage down here at 102s? Because that can happen. They're just big leverage down here. Now, there's also some big shorts up here as well. 105,700 is that big yellow line. $182 million. It's like, okay, let's go get those shorts now. Come on. That's an easy one. Just go up and get that. And then on Dogecoin, yeah, Dogecoin doesn't move the market as much. I mean, there's huge short up here at 20.8. But there's some big leverage down here at 18.5. Doge wants to go back to 18.5, $100,000. There aren't like multi-million dollars being bet on Doge. The big money's on ETH and Bitcoin. That's where the huge money is for these leverage trading. Look at this short on ETH up here, $4 million at 26.40. $4 million. So I'm like, yeah, let's go get those shorts. Even a bunch of new shorts here, 25.64, $3.6 million. So there's a lot of people who are placing huge shorts on ETH today. These are a lot of new trades that are being made today on ETH. More on the short side than the long side. Betting the price is going to go down lower. The infamous Monday pullback. Yeah, and they're the ETH shorters are loading up right now. You can see it right here on the heat map. These are all new right here. So these are all trades made today, shorting ETH. Eventually, the shorts are going to lose their shorts. Yeah, Doug. Eventually, they will. But right now, these ETH shorts, I would love to see it. Just take it out. Let's see the price go up. Because people are getting worn down. The price is going lower and lower. Totally worn down. Unlike a few years ago, now that there are some other cryptos that are moving 20% up in a week, why should someone still buy Doge? What's moving up 20% in a week? What has moved up 20% in a week? Nothing. SPX. So SPX went up 22%. That's it. Anything else that went up 20% is some shit token that just happened to go on a run. Super risky. So EM, whatever your name is, nothing else went up 20% in a week. SPX is the only one. And if I remember, SPX got hammered the week before. So it was recovering. Totally hammered. Should I short Dogecoin right now? I have never shorted Dogecoin, and I would never recommend anybody else shorting Dogecoin. Who wants Dogecoin to go down? I mean, come on. Do only good every day. It's like, oh. How do you differentiate long bets or short bets? Well, just on the heat map, any open position here that's above the current price, those are the liquidation levels for everyone who's shorting. All the open positions that are lower than the current price, those are all trades that are longing, doing long leverage trades. And these just represent the liquidation prices of all those trades. That's how the heat map works. Tunetic. That's how the heat map works. It shows how much leverage trading there is on the short side and the long side. WIF moved. Did WIF move? Up 1% for the day. Down 17% for the week. WIF is down 17% for the week. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks. Just try and keep things real here. You bought WIF at 49 cents, sold it like $1.10. Awesome. Good trade. It's now at 86. You're going to buy back in? Do the month? Yeah, we can do the month for WIF. We can do the month for a lot of different coins. For the month, it's up 33%. But we can do a lot of different, I mean, we can look at Doge for the last month, right? See what Doge is for the month, just to compare. WIF probably did better, but yeah, Doge is up 5.6% for a month. There are probably some that did better than WIF, but yep. Any cryptocurrency can outperform any other cryptocurrency over a short period of time. If you buy in low and you sell high, awesome. Good job. Thumbs up. Awesome. Personally, I'm not buying WIF. I'm buying Doge. All depends on the timing. Bonk. Yeah, I made a lot of money on Bonk. Sold it in January. Done. Now I'm just buying Doge for the fall. Will something outperform Doge over the summer? Probably. I'm waiting for the fall. I'm accumulating now Dogecoin at these low prices for the fall. It's not for a quick gain. You make more money over long periods of time. Cardano's been struggling. True. Down 9% for the week for Cardano. Biggest winner last fall was Pepe and Doge. You sold all your Pepe for XRP. Well, Pepe dropped so much harder this spring than XRP did. So if you were still holding on to that Pepe, it would probably be worth less. That's what we saw. We can look at the weekly and you can see. So there's Doge's big run in the fall and then the drop in the spring. We can look at Pepe and we can see big run in the fall, huge drop in the spring. But if you bought into XRP out of Pepe, you didn't have a big drop. See? Pepe didn't, or XRP didn't have a huge drop in the spring. So that was a good move. Take the Pepe profits, roll it into something that's not going to drop as much, less risky. So you've done better. If you had held onto that Pepe and were now buying XRP, that wouldn't be a good move. Yeah, and sheep dropped too. Big drop in sheep. So rotating those profits November, December into something like Bitcoin or XRP was a safer move. Obviously, it would have been even more safe if you just had sold for cash and held that cash for 6 months, but that's looking back in time. You don't know that that's what's going to happen. But on this side, Pepe could outperform XRP 5-1 on the next big run. You don't know. This is why most people you just buy and just hold for a long period of time. You don't have to do this kind of trading back and forth. You're going to make more money. So selling that Pepe, at the end of last fall and buying in XRP worked out in your favor for now. Pepe could just rocket back up there again and outperform XRP. And in the end, it probably wouldn't have mattered. It could work that way. How to make a business case Doge investment. Friends are comparing it with other cryptos. Yep. Doge Army, safe bet, price stability, Elon, Doge, the house of Doge, Doge OS, things continuing to be built on it. You can always compare one crypto to another. The best way around that, the best way around it is you don't have to be all or nothing, right? You can have some Doge along with the others that your friends like, right? It's not a competition. It really isn't a competition. Oh, WIF did better than Doge. It's not a competition. If your friends like WIF, buy some WIF too. Then you're in the game with them, but also have Doge. Because you don't know which is going to do best over time. You have no idea. Over short periods of times, some cryptos do better than others, but over long period of times, those others will outperform those little fast gainers. So why not spread it out? Have a little of that and a little of this, if that's how you're thinking. Now, I've come to a point where I played that game, right? Profited from it, like Jasmine. Jasmine did way better than anything else over the past 2.5 years. I made so much more on Jasmine percentage-wise. I didn't have as much invested in Jasmine as I did for Doge, but percentage-wise, it outperformed everything. But now I'm just Doge. I'm just buying Dogecoin for what I think is going to be a huge fall. And this daily stuff here, that doesn't bother me. More opportunities to buy on dips. Buying Doge under 20 cents to me is a gift. My overall average is about 7.5 cents, somewhere in that range. You're manifesting your new home. Yeah, people have been trading with leverage for years and years and years. So even crypto cycles up, crypto cycles down, still leverage trading. Crypto Geek, Dogecoin is not done. This is short-term stuff. The bigger picture is, I mean, you didn't listen. That's such a stupid comment. I was here 2 weeks ago warning you guys Dogecoin was done. You didn't listen. Now Doge is down 17% for the week. That's such a stupid comment. If you've been listening and you understand how the markets work, like everything is down the past week, okay? Everything's down the past week. This is a buying opportunity on a dip, and you wait for the big run to come. If you don't believe in Doge, right, and you don't think there's going to be a run on Doge, then go somewhere else. You're free to go. You're dismissed. Nobody cares what you were warning 2 weeks ago. And if you probably did that, you said Dogecoin was done, whatever. Many of us are bullish. I do have Bitcoin. I got about 1.12 Bitcoin. 1.12 Bitcoin. Long term. I sold just about everything else I had to buy this house. Still have a little bit of ETH, a little bit of Litecoin, my Trump collectibles, and Peak. Doge and Bitcoin. I would still love it as a social experiment if you were to make a crazy prediction title one of your videos to see what happens with a mouth open thumbnail. Yeah, I can't do it. I just can't do it. People would give me shit about it. And I just, yeah. Mark my words, exactly. I told you guys. I make a small investment in other cryptos just to keep an eye on them. Yeah. You get your notifications then that this one's up or that one's down. Yep. Hey, Lucky, what's up? Are the 4-year crypto cycles going to keep going? Even George says that, you know, if cryptos are us, he says that the cycles will continue, but they'll be less volatile. Like we're not going to see a 70% drop in Bitcoin's price next bear market. So it's just sort of that whole like arc kind of thing that I've done before on charts does play in where it'll be less volatile, and you'll see, you won't see those huge drops. Now, I mean, some shit tokens will drop at huge percentages in bear markets, but the big ones, thank you, Spencer. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Doge is legit as they come. #1 meme coin, and have more fun with Doge than anything else. When selling on Robinhood, do you get paid by your average price or by each individual buy-in price? First in, first out when you sell. So if you bought some at 40 cents and then you bought some at 30 cents, and then you bought more at 20 cents, and then you sold because you were disillusioned with Doge, some of your Doge, the first Doge you sell will be that 40 cents Doge. First in, first out. I'm not promoting Crypto Geek. I don't promote anything. I just tell you what I'm doing, tell you what I believe in, but that's not promoting it. Shame on you for being a jerk. And out of all of the people who talk about Doge, I'm the one that's most real. So there's that too. Heard there was another Dogecoin ETF. It was a refile by 21 shares. There's still only 4 filed. 21 shares had to refile because of some comments they got back from the SEC. Bitcoin ETF, they went through the same process. Refiling, comments back, refiling, comments back. So yeah. Yeah, George. I saw George in Las Vegas. He was with some other folks and he was like, it was more in the front of the Venetian, so I didn't get to say hi to him, but I did see him. You've got 0.01 BTC, healthy green. Nice. Some people do like to see the crypto market dump occasionally so they can buy in at lower prices. Yes. And just take it as a gift for what it is. CDC has a prediction. Mark his words. November. You bought Pepe at 13. Now it's at 12. Nope, 11.8. This fall, it's probably going to go up. I think we're going to have a big run on memes and alts this fall. I don't know, over the summer, it's probably going to be choppy through the summer, up and down, because that's what happens during summers. I'm not expecting any huge runs. We're in June now. But yeah, if you bought some Pepe here yesterday down at 11, dropped down to like 11.3, right? Well, that was early this morning, 11.3. Not bad. Thank you, DJ Dan. Smash the like, everybody. The Fed is going to play the catch-up game. Well, just have, if you think that's what's going to happen, just have a little dry powder sitting there waiting for the dip. So you can buy in on a big dip if you think that's what's happening. I think it could happen just because of the leverage. Bitcoin going down to like 102.5. That would be, I mean, that would cause alts to go down quite a bit. For Bitcoin, it would only be, how much is it down to 102.5? About 2.5%. So that's not that far from here for Bitcoin to go down to 102.5 and take out more leverage. We could see that tonight. And that'll get Doge down to like 18 cents. But that doesn't mean Doge is dead. It's just the markets and the way the markets work. Up and down trading. Take advantage of it when you can. Or just hold what you have and let this all play through, all this chop, and see where we go. Thank you, Sunshine. Appreciate it. Yeah, Pepe's going to run in the fall. And so is WIF, and so is Bonk, and so is Sheep, and you know, all of that again, right? And everybody's going to be saying, oh, this is better than that. Oh, my Sheep is so much better than your Doge. I'm just like, whatever. Whatever. Are we all making money? Awesome. You had 3,500 Bitcoin? 2010. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of stories of people that had a lot of Bitcoin back then. Nobody knew what it was going to become. TB, it's funny. Doge tipping, the guy I met in Vegas who's got the Doge wrapped Cybertruck, he's got a little Shiba Inu puppy and he named him 42. It's like 42. It's like awesome. That's a good name. It's like 42. That was so good. For those guys that didn't see from last week, a lot going on in Vegas. The Venetian Bitcoin conference, all of that. There's Doge tipping there. But this was my picture with the Cybertruck. The Doge wrapped Cybertruck. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I never did give that. I like that for that. Yeah, 42. Good name. Good name for a dog. 42. I was like, wow, that's cool. That is cool. All right, gang. Hey, that's what we got for a Sunday. Doge is in the 19s. That's what we have. If you complain about it, what are you going to do about it? That's what I say. What's your plan now? Don't just complain about it. Make a plan. Execute the plan. If you believe in Doge, then look for the dips. Buy more on the dips. And if you don't, you think it's crap, then sell and go on and go chase your token, whatever, that you think is doing so well, and good luck with that. It's all cryptocurrency. It's like over time, some are going to do better than others. Over short periods of time, others might do better than some. That's just the way it is. Okay, got a big week coming this week. So there's going to be lots to talk about, a lot going on. Is the Ukraine-Russia war going to escalate, right? Is that going to throw a lot of shade at the markets, right? They're going to be worried about that. What's going to happen with the outfall of the latest on Trump tariffs and the U.S. economy and all of that? I mean, just later. So, big week, lots to talk about. I hope everyone has a great Sunday evening, though. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.